currently at the airport, international flight, and I don't really know where to go or what to do. So yeah, that's it.
I've got to be honest, business class kind of stinks. Really stinks. It's pretty smelly. It's really smelly. So this past month, I took a business class trip to France, there and back. And both times, I swear every 15 minutes or so, someone different, and there were repeats, but someone different farted. There was like a distinct fart every 15 minutes or so. And I think it may be because everyone's just so comfortable, they're all in their own worlds, they're being handed cheese every couple hours and these gourmet looking meals that are just preserves in a freezer. I don't know. I don't even want to know what it smells like in first class, but if you want to pay for that extra, just know that people are a little less mindful and a little bit more trying to relax and relax a little too much in this confined space up in the atmosphere. This past year, I've been traveling more frequently than I ever have in my entire life. I've always grown up traveling or flying, but back then it was with my parents, and then when I turned 18, I took my first flight all by myself out to California. I didn't come back. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But with the amount of traveling, I've always kind of done something a little differently every time. Whether I'm with a sighted guide, I'm with an actual trained airport assistant, whatever it is, I feel like I've kind of done the whole travel spectrum, like every combination that you could possibly do as a blind traveler. So let's talk about that. On my social media channels, I asked for you to send me questions in regards to what it's like to travel blind, mainly with flying, dealing with airports, traveling internationally.
Do you need special services or wheelchair?
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Okay.
Curious about the ticket booking process? Are some travel or airline sites more accessible? Are there some that are unusable?
So because I travel for work sometimes, my tickets are often booked by other people and I just get sent the itinerary and just head up to the front desk and either get that assistance or get checked in. Other times though, when I am traveling for more pleasure or on my own dime, I actually call the airlines. Sometimes they do like to have a fee for using the time of their employees to book that. If you let them know that you're blind or visually impaired, they'll usually waive it, at least in my case they have.
I just need assistance getting through the gate. I'm legally blind, but low vision.
Yep. Are you already checked in?
I checked in already.
In terms of actually booking online, I have used Google Flights personally. And there's also other things like Skyscanner, but personally, most of the time I'm using Google Flights. Usually works pretty well. Sometimes they send you off to the actual airlines, and JetBlue's been great. JetBlue and Virgin Atlantic have had pretty accessible sites from what I've been able to experience.
Have you ever been given a wheelchair or treated in a way that was inappropriate towards someone with a disability?
Yeah, so this often stems from poor training, and maybe a lot of elderly people just prefer to be given a wheelchair and go on, and that's fine. But a lot of younger people who have disabilities like to feel independent, like to have their proper accommodations honored, and for me as a blind person, my legs work just fine. I don't need a wheelchair. What I need is eyes that are gonna guide me. So for me, yes, I've been given a wheelchair. I've been also pressured by some airlines to just take the wheelchair because, again, a lack of training. But there have been some airlines and some airports that have had amazing accommodations, amazing workers who want to get to know me, ask me questions, where are you traveling? Others who have completely ignored me.
The real reason I came to the restroom today was I managed to put my sweatpants on backwards. So I can still fly business class internationally, but I can't seem to wear my pants the right way.
Is going through security checkpoints any different?
I basically get the pre-check without the pre-check. Essentially what happens is because there's long lines and you're surrounded by people who are able-bodied who oftentimes who knows what could go wrong. You're escorted towards the front. TSA is quickly briefed that you maybe have accommodations or you have a mobility aid, and they check that or do whatever they need to do to get you through, and usually it's a pretty seamless process. Again, it all depends on the airline/airport's actual assistance, whether or not that's a fun experience or not. For the most part, the reason why I get airport assistance is for the TSA, to help guide me through that process, because I'm dealing with security, I'm dealing with one wrong TSA agent who doesn't know how to accommodate or speak to a blind person. It can all go downhill.
Do you use a cane? Airports are a nightmare for me even without one. They are one of the few places I find myself wanting a cane mostly because of the rolling bags.
Yeah, so I'm a cane user. I use a cane pretty often. I always keep it with me just in case. In an airport, a place that is crowded with different color, different silhouettes, quickly moving, I need a cane. Oftentimes, I gotta use my ears to help navigate and tell the depth between the rooms that I'm in or the hallways. Also, what's good is that because it's such a crowded environment most of the time, whether I'm at LAX or Philadelphia Airport, it's good that I have my cane covering the other side, because if I'm doing a sight guide with an airport assistance agent, I gotta make sure that I'm not gonna get bumped or rolled over, something on the other side.
How do you know if you're on a plane?
I hate that I picked this question. So typically when you have a disability, a child, or you're a veteran, you get to go on a plane first. Or you're an able-bodied person, you paid for that, right? In my case, I typically get to go on the plane pretty early because I need to be able to learn the spatial awareness of the flight, how big the actual plane is, and to know where the emergency exit and the restroom is as well. It's also important for me to get to know the flight crew a little more personally, because they're the ones who I'm gonna need in case of an emergency, but just in general if I need something. Most flight crews are super accommodating, they're very well trained, and it's been nothing but pretty much good experiences from most flight crews. When it comes to getting off the plane, usually you're pressured into waiting until everyone else has gotten off, all the able-bodied people have gotten off their flight. I'm not really a fan of that most of the time, especially at a familiar airport like LAX or the Philadelphia Airport. I usually know my way to baggage claim or to the arrivals where I need to get my ride or ride share. And so I'll just go with the fray. I'll get off. Now, there are people who I'm not a fan of, and those are people who just don't understand in general etiquette when it comes to getting off a flight. There are people who are all the way in the back. They rush to get up and take up the entire aisle. For those people, stop.
How do you stay entertained on flights?
So sometimes an airline might have a braille menu, so they'll just give me a braille menu and I'll skim my finger through that same menu, a couple pages, sometimes it's just one single page, and just feel that for the entirety of those 5 to 6 hours on a flight. It's the only source of entertainment I have. No, but I actually oftentimes just have my own music. I will listen to audio-described movies or TV shows thanks to the Netflix app. It lets you download some of their originals, and when you download their originals, it has audio-described content, which is great. It's fantastic. I can just listen to my show when I'm on the flight, close my eyes. Sometimes I fall asleep during it. Though I actually have experienced in-flight entertainment that was accessible, and that was through Virgin Atlantic. When I was heading to London back in February, they have an iPad that they gave me, and they offered it. I didn't have to ask or anything. They just offered, hey, would you like a accessible in-flight entertainment device? So most people who are blind or visually impaired, they're already familiar with a screen reader, and VoiceOver is one of the most common and most accessible ones. So when I got an iPad, I'm like, I already know how to use this. This is awesome. And there was even like a little tutorial on how to use VoiceOver built into the app. So I guess for a person who was new to it, was just being introduced to VoiceOver through this in-flight entertainment device, that's pretty cool. Easy way to learn. And then you just skim through their app. Their app is the only one that's like downloaded on the actual device. So the app is pretty straightforward, it's pretty accessible, and you just find the movie you want to watch. I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that was fully audio described. And thanks, Virgin Atlantic. Thank you for having awesome service and accommodating and accessible service too. So definitely, if I'm ever flying to London again or anywhere that Virgin Atlantic takes me, I'm gonna fly with them.
Which country and/or town did you find the easiest to navigate?
I would say here in the US, San Jose has been pretty accommodating and an accessible place to navigate. I oftentimes go to San Jose when it comes to flying out for Apple events or the WWDC event that happened back in June. And so I'm pretty familiar with the downtown San Jose area. It's very accessible. I dig it. I like it. But when it comes to international destinations, besides Canada, which has been pretty amazing when it comes to accommodations and getting around, I would say that in Europe, London and the UK has been pretty good with navigation. And that's kind of surprising when you think about London's not really a new city by any means. It's been around for a while and it has a lot of old architecture, but they've really kind of helped revamp the city to be a bit more accessible and accommodating. Their transportation is pretty decent and definitely helps to get around that. Big Ben, for example, was currently shut down for construction, but I could still view it because they had a tactile Big Ben display that you could feel right below it. So that was pretty neat. So there's always nonprofits and there's always these organizations that are advocating for creating more accessible homes in these home countries. So again, whether it's the RNIB, whether it's the AFB, or the CNIB, like there's all these different institutions and nonprofits that are doing work locally. It's helpful to learn about what accommodations are in these other destinations and what needs to be approved upon. So that's been my personal independent and maybe not so independent experiences traveling, and I hope that maybe you learned something, maybe that this will make you prepare better for your upcoming travels, or maybe it helps you be a little bit more mindful if you do run into another visually impaired, blind, or disabled pedestrian at the airport. Let me know in the comments, have you had any experiences with having accommodations, whether for traveling, whether it be a temporary disability or whether it's be for a permanent disability? I'm curious, what has that experience been like for you? Hope you could see different today, and I will hear you next time. Bye.